Thanks for stopping by for this week's 2 Minutes with Tim. Remember, you can get past editions of 2 Minutes with Tim at timvanronselen.com. This week I want to talk about liability waivers. A liability waiver generally is a document that someone has asked you to sign that excuses their negligence or careless behavior in the event you might get injured. We frequently deal with this in cases where clients come in after signing a document like that, where they wonder, is this enforceable, and do I still have a chance for making a recovery due to my injuries, or does my family have a chance to make a recovery in light of the fact that a loved one who has passed on has signed a document like that. Here's a copy of a document like that from a local business in Missouri that asks people to come into their business and sign a document like this that supposedly excuses their negligence in the event you've been injured. And the question becomes, is that enforceable under Missouri law? Now, the answer to that would depend on the specific language of any liability waiver. But generally in Missouri, those documents are disfavored and they're very hard to stop someone from making a recovery just because they signed a document like this. Missouri courts and Missouri law do not like documents that tend to excuse someone's negligence that injures somebody else. These documents are generally only upheld if they're conspicuous, meaning they're in an obvious place in the document, if they're easily understood, and it doesn't take a law degree to understand what you're doing, and they're fair. Basically, that the parties knowingly got into this deal after assessing the risks on each side. We generally see these documents most frequently in cases involving children, where children have engaged in some behavior and their parents have signed a document, but the child gets injured. And the question then becomes, hey, what about this document that I signed before something happened? Generally, specifically with children, these liability waivers are not enforceable. And that's because under Missouri law, courts have to approve documents that generally release claims of children. So the fact that a parent has signed a document with regard to a child does not usually get rid of their claims. So never let a liability waiver stand between you and making recovery, specifically in cases that involve wrongful death, where a loved one is passed on due to some dangerous behavior or something that was the cause of someone else's fault. Never let a liability waiver or the fact that someone told you that you signed a liability waiver stand between you and making a recovery. Come see us. We can look at that document, make an assessment as to whether it's enforceable or not. And more often than not, they are not enforceable. It doesn't cost you anything to give me a call and have me look at a document like that. My number is 573-635-7977. And thanks for stopping by for this week's 2 Minutes with Tim.